On a night filled with thunder and lightning, a man named Neil approaches the entrance of the pub. The owner, Owen, opens the door, and Neil asks to see his deceased wife. He proposes a large sum of money to Owen for the opportunity to have a conversation with her. Despite the lucrative deal, Owen declines and warns Neil to leave. As Neil leaves, Owen takes a moment to sip his drink to soothe himself, after which he leaves a note for someone mentioning that this place is occupied by a unique tenant. You are the caretaker, and you are not allowed to release her from the basement. Her curse will end tonight. Should you be watching this video, it means I have failed and you are fated to suffer. Following that, he leads someone to a chair and drenches it in oil. As he prepares to ignite a fire, something brushes against his face and he rushes out of the basement, engulfed in flames and passing away instantly. Following that, a young woman named Iris sneaks into a residence with her companion to pack her belongings, as she's unable to afford her rent. Out of the blue, she gets a phone call informing her that her father has died. Shocked, she arranges a flight to London to be with her father's body. At the morgue, a lawyer escorts her to her father's pub and gives her a tour. She inquires about staying there for the night, and he agrees without hesitation. Later that evening, Katie tells her friend that she'll be visiting her. While she's asleep, she hears noises coming from downstairs and decides to investigate. As she's looking into things, she notices Neil and takes bottles of alcohol to defend herself. Iris inquires about his intentions, and he reveals his desire to visit his wife, who is currently in the basement. When he proposes to pay her £8,000 for the favor, she suggests he return the next day, as she hasn't obtained the keys to the basement yet. Before giving Iris the key to the house, the lawyer hands her an ancient document to sign, along with a cassette with a hidden message from her father. The following day, upon Katie's arrival, Iris shares with her that Neil wants to visit her. When Neil comes over, Iris leads him to the basement. As they get there, Neil calls out for someone to come out, but no one answers. Iris then talks to whoever might be hiding in the hole and notices a shadow coming out. Soon, a peculiar creature, wrapped in a sack with a cloth over its head, approaches Iris. When she tells it to stop, the creature listens and sits down on the chair. Neil sits next to the creature and gives it his wife's ring, which the creature takes and puts in its mouth. Neil then fastens the creature to the chair, and it changes into a woman. When Neil lifts the cover from the woman's head, he's taken aback to discover it's not his wife, but her mother. He inquires about her reasons for leaving him as a child. Her response is deeply hurtful, as it felt like a slow death in her life. Unexpectedly, she asks him to kiss her, revealing that as a child, he never wanted to. Shocked, Neil quickly backs away from the scene when he realizes she's disappeared from the chair, looking around the basement in confusion. Suddenly, the woman grabs him from behind, demanding a kiss, which she then proceeds to spit water on him when Iris tells her to stop. And Neil tells Iris to put the bag back on her head. As Iris does so, the woman returns to her normal self and throws the ring away before disappearing back into the hole. Upon exiting the basement, Neil explains that the ring was originally his mother's. He suggests they make one last attempt, but Iris refuses, saying his wife is no longer with them and he should find peace. He also mentions that he forgot to say earlier that they could only speak to her for 2 minutes. Later, she listens to the recording where her father tells her about the creature. He advises her not to let the creature escape from the basement, regardless of what happens, and warns her against talking to the creature more than once. He also apologizes to Iris for leaving her when she was a child. After finishing the recording, Katie confronts Iris about the woman in the basement and insists she leaves the property. Iris explains that they can remain here for a short while since she has no other options. After that, they head to the lower level, and Iris instructs the creature not to step on the basement stairs, making it clear that it's off limits. Katie secures a barrel by the door for added protection. As she prepares to leave, a picture hanging on the wall slips and falls. Iris retrieves it and begins to examine it, during which she notices someone sitting nearby, causing her to feel frightened and reach for a stick for defense, only to find no one present. Iris then goes to Neil's place, where he warmly offers her tea. They discuss Iris's father, and Neil reveals that he had attempted to communicate with Iris's mother after her death through a deal with her father, but the arrangement failed due to her father's change of heart. Iris is taken aback by this revelation and admits that she wasn't close to her father and was unaware of his whereabouts. They both head back to the basement. When Neil offers the monster a pendant that once belonged to her spouse, Iris notices the clock ticking, and Neil takes off the pouch from the monster's head revealing her dead spouse. Neil hugs her and inquires about the individual she was having an affair with. Knowing she was planning to leave him, Iris cautions him that there are only 30 seconds left, but Sarah is oblivious to it. As 2 minutes elapse, Sarah confesses that she no longer desires to be with the other man. While Iris is about to place the pouch on her head, the monster retreats. Suddenly, it becomes dark, and Iris hears her mother's voice, prompting her to move closer. However, as she approaches to place the pouch on her mother's head, her mother cries out and lunges at Iris, trying to shield her mouth. Iris commands the monster to comply, but it refuses, stating that they are both trapped. In another room, Iris confronts Neil for deceiving her, and Katie furiously demands his departure. As she sits there, she observes her father conversing with her mother, who promises her that she will reunite with Iris. Her spouse warns him of the dire consequences if he attempts to leave this place. Then, her spouse advises her to release her, assuring her that everything will be resolved. Owen comes up with the plan to destroy this location, so it doesn't need anyone to maintain it. As he attempts to ignite the lighter, he accidentally sets himself ablaze during the night. Meanwhile, Iris is awakened by the sound of the fire and heads to the basement, only to discover her father's face has been completely stripped off, revealing it to be a monster. Filled with rage, she attempts to suffocate it, but she senses the monster is choking her back. Upon removing the mask, she recognizes it's her own face, and she awakens from the terrifying ordeal, gasping for breath. She rushes to the bathroom to use the scissors, but luckily, Katie shows up and frees her by cutting the keychain from her neck and discarding it. They decide to visit the lawyer, but upon their return, find no one there. Katie advises Iris to leave the place, claiming it's driving her insane. Iris becomes furious at her, feeling as though Katie has been taking away her belongings, including this one moment. The being pays attention to their discussion as they bicker in sorrow. Katie exits the scene in search of solutions in Fredland. Upon her return, she discovers a deserted location adorned with mysterious markings. She collects all the symbols and leaves a recorded message for Iris. She proposes using her father's watch as a tool for communication with him, and upon seeing her daughter, he regrets his departure, explaining he had hoped to return, but her mother became sick and died before he could leave. Iris inquires about how to manage the being, but her father admits he's clueless, only mentioning that its strength grows with each use. Suddenly, her father's body is consumed in flames, and he warns her never to call upon the being again. Katie returns, and she heads to the basement, where the being suddenly appears behind her, causing her to run towards the exit. In a shocking twist, the being snatches a photograph and consumes it, then removes its mask to reveal a man named Otto. He tells her the being was once a woman capable of reviving the dead, a power the Brotherhood discovered and attempted to use for their own gain. When she refused, they branded her a witch and set her on fire, but her death sparked dark events, leading the Brotherhood to perform a ritual to keep her imprisoned. However, they continued to misuse her power, resulting in severe consequences. He inquires if she serves as the Guardian, to which she responds in the negative. Subsequently, he informs her that her only solace is the agony that awaits her. Before she confronts the beast, Iris gets a message from Katie on the ground below. She quickly makes her way to check it out, only to find Katie's voice emanating from a void. As she delves further into the tunnel, she comes across Katie's dead body, consumed by fury and sorrow. Determined to put an end to the creature's existence, as a last attempt to flee, Iris sprints towards the door as the beast relentlessly pursues her. At the same time, Neil makes his way into the basement and offers Iris painkillers, assuring her of his backing. However, upon waking up during the night, Iris realizes that the pills Neil provided were actually meant to induce sleep. She catches Neil talking to the monster in the cellar, offering himself as her protector.
We can't be a family if she's alive.
Sarah steps forward and warns him that if he wants to be her protector, he must kill Iris just as he did his family. He initially resists, but changes his mind when he learns Iris is aware of his true intentions and begins to pursue her. On the roof, he attempts to suffocate her, but she strikes him in the head and escapes. He then brings her lifeless body to the monster, who eats an item that belonged to Iris, and then Iris rises from the monster's body. Neil inquires about becoming her protector, but the monster thanks him for eliminating her previous guardian. The monster explains that Iris's name is on the will, making her her master, and now she is hers. The monster discloses that she was orchestrating her own liberation and has succeeded, abruptly causing the lights to go out. The monster drags Neil into a hole. His mother catches his arms and breaks them, while his wife hits his head on the floor. Iris appears and strikes Neil with a chair to end his agony. The monster, now taking on the appearance of Iris, flees the property, and soon the entire area is engulfed in flames. The story concludes with the property consumed by fire.